This is a little bit about the making of M2U magazine and how I came up with the idea. So I had the idea for M2U magazine in January, and it came to me randomly while I was at work. I just was looking out into the distance and thought I should just make a fashion magazine. And it's kind of random. At this time, I was going through a really rough stage in my life. I had gone through a breakup and I was unhappy with my job. Mentally, I was not in the best place. And I don't know where the idea for a magazine came from. I've always collected books, and they're a big part of my life. It's a big collection that I have. I also had a love for photography as well. And I also had a lot of film at this time because I got a discount on film through my job. So I had all this film and I knew I wanted to do a photo project. I knew I appreciated books and I knew that I had a love for art and fashion. And in my mind, magazine just made sense. When I decided that I was going to make a magazine, I really started reconnecting with my art. And the type of art that I traditionally have made is collage art. That's the main thing that I like to make. I started sharing my idea with some friends, and I really started to believe I could actually do something, but I wanted to test it first. So I decided to make a sample. The sample magazine was just kind of my way to tiptoe into what it's like to make a book, which was something I had never done before, and just kind of test out what I wanted my magazine to look like. I knew I wanted a fashion interview magazine that had heavy digital content connected to it in some type of way. I also knew it was important to make a community around fashion and bring people together, spotlighting everyday people in the community. I started filming sample interviews in late January with just my friends. I would just ask them if I could interview them about their style. Around this time, I also started buying magazines and really studying the design of magazines I admired. I had a whole inspo list of magazines where I loved their design, and I just tried to kind of incorporate elements of that into what I was doing. I got a lot of inspiration at this time from my apartment as well. That space really kept me inspired, and just reconnecting with my art is really how this all came to be. I had the sample done in May, actually, and I ordered 25 copies, and then I gave those 25 copies out to friends and family, and I actually asked them to fill out a feedback form, and I got tons of information about what I could do to make the sample even better before I made my real first issue. I took a trip to Vermont, and that also played a big part in recalibrating me and kind of getting me more in touch with my artistic vision and what I wanted to do with my life on a bigger scale. When I came back from my trip to Vermont is when I really started working with Bella, and she really proved to me that this was a legit thing. And I knew that I had something, some sort of idea, but she was the one that convinced me that I should take this seriously as a business. It was with her that I started seriously working on ideas, looking at feedback, and starting work on issue 1, the real M2U magazine. We started taking trips to the Bay and doing research and just brainstorming what we wanted our business to look like. And we actually ended up doing our first real feature for issue 1, who was Logan, and we filmed him in June. We filmed our first commercial in July with our sample product, and we just really leaned into cute ads and marketing and just trying to see what we could do that was fun on social media. It was at this point that I was kind of taking things more seriously, and I made this insane decision to quit my job. That was in August. Quitting my job was one of the hardest things I actually have ever done. It was one of the biggest changes I've had in my adult life. My soul was just telling me that it was the right decision to make. And I was really scared. I didn't have even anything to show for my idea, but I kept seeing these signs. I kept seeing shooting stars, or my oracle deck would say something crazy that just convinced me that I was on the right path. Saw Mark Cuban in Doko. I mean, that was crazy. I was like, this is a sign. Like, these are all signs. I think my mom was pretty nervous at first with me moving back home and saying I was going to start a business, but she really welcomed me back with open arms and has been my biggest support through all of this, really. But lots of things had to be sacrificed, like my job, my security, my apartment, and my independence. At this point, I was pretty dedicated to the vision, like working on this project and designing it. This is when I brought my friend Junior in because he's just so talented, smart, and creative, and really having the different perspectives is really what made this thing grow. And the standard just kept raising and raising, and I just felt like I had to keep matching it. I mean, Junior was cooking out fire layouts, and Bella's making these crazy ads that are amazing. And that's when I set up the photo shoot with Kalia, my other friend. And I was like, we have to have professional photos taken, because at first it was literally just pictures that I took on my phone. But I was like, no, I have to commit like a full photo shoot to this. And that was one of the most fun parts of making the entire project, was that photo shoot. Freaking closet tour is looking amazing. Now we have a professional photo shoot in there, and the magazine is like bigger. It's 140 pages. The thing is just growing out of control, and I'm just like so proud of us from like where it started, like from the sample to the final issue. It's amazing, and I feel like, I really targeted what everyone said in the feedback and just tried to make it as perfect as I possibly could. And there's been a lot of stumbles to get to here today, having the vision come to life. There's been a lot of road bumps that we somehow pivot and make it past. And I'm just excited to keep doing that. And I'm just excited to see where I can take this thing. And I'm also very excited to share the project with you guys. So I hope you enjoy the magazine, and I hope you are along for the journey.